Interesting. Hi, welcome. Wasn't sure about this time, but it's just turned out to be that way. So I'm not sure how many people will join us here, but it seemed important to jump on and talk about these energies that are occurring. And so right now in New Zealand, I'm in Auckland, and we are in another rain event. There are more people whose homes are flooded, and I can feel the stress of the energy of that, or the energy of the stress of that. So my heart goes out to those people who are dealing with that. And there's been floods and slippage in my very local area as well. So if you are in New Zealand and you are suffering from that, I just send you love and encourage you to see it for what it is, which is on two levels. And one is this narrative of, well, actually, it's more than two, but there's a narrative of this being attributed to climate change, but it's actually, it's a, in my view, it's a ploy to normalise weather events as being connected to climate change. And so I listened on a little YouTube clip to one of the uh, news reporters, an on-site in the field news reporter, saying, well, we'll be having more of this because the planet is increasing in temperature. So we're going to be fed that kind of what I regard as nonsense. It's a narrative that they're feeding us for a variety of reasons, and one of them might be for land grabbing, and one of them is certainly for fear mongering, and one of them is so that can be used as a narrative for control and movement and manipulation of the people. So it's we are in a cycle phenomena of weather that is presenting itself in a variety of ways, but we have not had massive increases in temperature of the planet, and we have not had massive increases in carbon dioxide emissions. And so we've definitely had some increases, but it's a normal, it's what my understanding of it is, that it's this collision or collusion of three cycles to do with that are longer, the longer cycles that just sort of come in at the same time. So there's this from this sort of darker end of the spectrum, there's this scrambling to keep us in fear, and then there's another level of it, which is scrambling to keep us in control. And so that requires manipulation of our thoughts and how we are feeling, and what we might agree to give up, or to give over to, or to agree to. So I just want to say to you, feel it in your heart, feel it for the people who are, having to or going through these terrible times. And so you know that that's what's going on, that it will work out in the end, and that we're really on the ends of it. And then on the other side of it is this cleansing and clearing. It's purifying us and our land. So on and this isn't what I came on to talk about at all, but we are really in this very high and finer aspect of purification. So many of you might be feeling the effects of that. If you think about a drain that's blocked and you pour water down the drain, and when it gets enough sort of softened and dislodged, it rises up, right, and it comes up. And this is what we are experiencing on a very deep level on our planet, not just here in New Zealand, but on our planet, we are experiencing this deeper release of this debris, this toxic energetics, but in a very physical way. And so many people who are sensitive might be feeling the effects of that in their field or in their body, because we are also being, asked to purify this through our systems at the moment as we're on the end parts of this purification. So we are, on the bigger cycle of things, we're in purification on the physical level, and we're on in this arising on the physical as well. So we're rising in consciousness, we are rising in vibration and in frequency, and alongside that we're in this deeper purification, and we are right on the ends of that. So welcome everybody, and thank you for joining me here on short notice, as is often the case with me. What's Carolyn saying? So much fear-mongering, people headed home as soon as the fake emergency went off on our phones. Right. Yeah. So then lots of traffic build up, and so some people, I just listened to a man who spoke of it being the 5th time that his house has been flooded this year. So we're looking at this purification of the land. We're looking at the flooding of the underground as well, the purification of the tunnels at the same time as we are, feeling it arising. And then we are coming into this higher level. And so it is happening on kind of lots of levels, and we're in receipt of these higher dimensional frequencies. We're receiving a lot of 7th dimensional frequencies at the moment, and that's another reason why, as we get higher in what we can receive, that we release at a deeper level. So quite a lot of information has come through about the divine masculine in the past few days, and it's been a busy energetic time. I've been quite busy with clients as well, and have been doing a lot of processing, I suppose. Anyway, so on the 7th of May, let me put my glasses on so I can read the comments. Oh yes, Emma. Yeah, exactly. One of there is one that is, well, that's only one of the reasons. So that's what I was going to talk about, is that it would seem obvious that the weather manipulation is excuse me, incorporating electromagnetic frequencies as well, and that there are chemicals involved. But also we are also receiving some some weather phenomena is about clearing. So it is happening on a variety of levels in a variety of ways. But if you are a divine feminine, there are also other reasons why you might be so tired, and so I will get to that. But yeah, we are really working hard at this purification, and the divine feminines might have been experiencing what's been happening in the divine masculines' bodies. So we're really in the physical of it. We really are. We're in the physical of it, on the land, on top of the land, under the land, and around our bodies, in our fields, and in our bodies. So further work for the masculine coming in, embedding more of their emotional body as they drop further into the embodiment and balance of their feminine aspect. So what's been happening for the masculine is that there's a lot going on for them. It must be massive, because they are going through in at the same time, in a short period of time, what a lot of the divine feminines have gone through over a period of years. So they are dropping into their hearts. Their hearts are opening more. They're able to feel more now in their hearts. So they are having activations in their higher heart. These have been going on for a little bit, but they're in their third, that's my understanding, they're in their third wave or third level of activation in their hearts and higher hearts. And then this is also coming in with this 3-dimensional, 5-dimensional aspect that they're exploring as their higher self is dropping in as well, which of course, we've been experiencing also. Everybody on the planet is having an experience of that to some degree or another. And yes, so hello Caroline and Emma and Donna Jean and Billy, hello and welcome. Yeah, so I really so if you've been crying, that could be why. If you have a connection with a divine masculine, I really got shown the other day that they might have been feeling very emotional, as really feeling into their hearts opening and what they're feeling more into their loving self, this higher love and this higher consciousness, and feeling into the love for their divine feminine. So just more of that. And yeah, so there were a couple of days ago I felt that I was crying, and that they weren't my tears. I really felt that I was crying in connection to my divine masculine, and then a couple of other divine feminines have spoken to me about that experience for them as well. So maybe you had that experience. If you're a divine masculine, maybe you were moved to tears. And if you're a divine feminine, maybe you were feeling the emotion of your divine masculine as they were really in the opening of their hearts. And it's very, very beautiful. And I would say that that is correct, that it does apply to all men. Those who are awakening will be beginning, well, the collective is beginning to awaken. So yes, I would say that applies to all of the men in our world. So I have been noticing that the men in our world, not just the divine masculine, but the men in our world have been softening in their hearts. And so they will be in this experience also. And then I got given this message as well. Your beloved is weary and wary, and looking at both you and himself sideways, as though not understanding why you cannot be shaken from his mind, and yet also aware that this is not your doing. DF, divine feminine. The divine masculine is becoming aware this is not your doing, as he may have believed before. No, he is aware that there is something godly and esoteric going on here. And so then I was told that we ought to think back to the time. Do you remember the time when I spoke about how it was as though the divine feminines might feel as though they can observe the divine masculine's head in a jar, like in The Simpsons, floating around their house? And I was told, so this, I'm pretty sure this was a message from Father God, to think back to when you had that experience of his head floating around in your space. This is what he is experiencing with you. Your head moving in his peripheral field. He will find humor in it very soon as another level of epiphany drops in to his awareness. This very visual message to the divine masculine. So they're definitely coming into high frequency, as is everyone. Each of us is coming into more of our crystalline body, into more of our DNA stranding being reconnected. All of this is making us tired. And then I think for the divine feminine, it's the extrapolation of it all. It's just felt long and ongoing. And it is feeling close to the edges of this change, that is for sure. And then yesterday I wrote, there are a few things that you may be feeling today. And as I'm reading this, I'm feeling quite emotional. So the energy of this yesterday was quite emotional. This balance of these higher frequencies and into the crystalline body, this movement and connection of DNA, the energies and integration of all of this, creating a lot of emotional welling up in our body as everything around us also is moving. The divine masculine energies, and we'll be feeling this in our bodies as well, but they are really amping up in their energetics. They are really coming into this awakening that is a little bit like a dry sponge being dropped into the water. It's very expansive, and they are really feeling all of that. They are feeling things in their head. They've got intuitive hits and messages coming in through their head through this intuition. They're getting given visual symbols. They're being given imagery in their dream time as well as in their wakeful time. Their third eye is awakening. Their third eye is really amping up and ramping up. So they're beginning to see in their with their psychic vision. They're being given sort of the issues that are paramount to them to be sorted and solved. And there's a general energy of feeling lighter and higher. But it's like it's that, and then there's these washes of this heavier energy coming through as though it's moving up through our systems. And as a consequence, some of these darker, denser energies passing through. So, we are going higher and higher and finer and being able to see more, feel more, sense more, know more. And as that is coming through, we're also feeling this release of these denser energies. And some of it may require transmuting, is what I was told. And we are likely to be in this experience for the rest of May. So this, we're so close to and on the edges of this rolling into ascension, or we are in ascension, but I mean, this roll over into this dimensional shift. And so we'll be doing this purification and transmutation for the rest of this month. So each of us, becoming more crystalline, holding more, remembering more. So this beautiful fine energy may have been felt. You may have felt that yesterday. I definitely noticed it yesterday. It was really fine and pure. It had held a purity. It comes from, oh yes, that's right. So it was coming in from the outer edge of the chest and up through the heart chakra into the higher heart and into the throat. And it really had this sensation with it. For me, it was the message that my body really wants to express itself, and the love that it holds. That's the message that my body was giving me yesterday. So it was this whole effect of this energy coming across my chest, and then up through here and into the throat in this kind of beautiful, almost a triangular kind of shape of my body wanting to speak out all this love that I am holding. Let's see what else is here. Hello, Larissa. Hello, Louise, I think. Yeah, been feeling so at peace. Yes, yes. Yeah, I think since the 1st, 2nd of May, we've really been in these different energies. They've felt a lot clearer. They've been higher. They've been more peaceful in our hearts. They've brought a lot of ease, and they've brought a lot of being in the moment, being totally at peace and ease in one's own presence, one's own one's own greatness. Hello, Holger, and hello, Heidi. Yes, sleeping a lot. Couldn't move legs, hips, or lower spine yesterday without great pain. Okay, so you may be moving things through or out of your body. Quite quite turdy today. I haven't seen the sun in over 2 weeks. The weather is really getting people down. Yeah, well, in New Zealand, that's like another thing, really, isn't it? We've had this ongoing rain. We haven't had summer. In our city, we've just not had too much of sunny days at all. It's pretty interesting what's happening in gardens and things. I have got, believe it or not, I planted my tomatoes in September, and I still have flowers on my tomato plants, and I still have tomatoes on my tomato plants, and a lot of them are still green. And so that's just the amount of sun that we have not had. It's pretty incredible. So yesterday's energies. So Holger's saying your radiant presence here and now will change your world for harmony and unity to go. Yes. And Fiona, yes, a lot of ease. Yeah, it feels like that. Like it's lighter, it's brighter, it's gentler, it's easier, even though it's highly visible to witness that is not what everybody's experience is. So I feel that if you've done a lot of your clearing, a lot of the work, a lot of your higher alignment, that you're going to be recognizing the ease of this time, and that it will get better and easier, and that if it comes up, it's your work and you just attend to it. But we ought to be on the end results of that. Yes, that's right. There's those deeply held traumas, Golden. It's like the more we do, the more we can do. That's really what it comes down to. The more healing we do, the more healing we can do. The more light we hold, the more light we can hold. The more clearing we do, the more light we can hold. And yeah, every kind of, well, surgical. So every kind of incision, intrusion that we have had, our body will bring healing to it in its timing. And so I believe we're going to be in the experience of a lot of that. So yesterday I wrote, this energy comes with a smile, with purity, and with devotion. Those were the adjectives that came with it for me. A higher consciousness, for higher conscious living, for higher thinking, for higher speaking, being, and acting. We are each elevating higher, and this includes integrity and highest good for all in all ways. The other thing I was shown this week is that what has been incoming on these codes are serious up-leveling for higher consciousness and integration. It's very big in its up-leveling, and it's very physical. So we're feeling this in our physical bodies because we've done the energetic work, and so now it's all coming in to be embraced and integrated and reinterpreted, really, in our physical bodies. And so lots of feelings of this in the body, of what's going on. And also there's this notion that I keep seeing, which is the spinning vortex, rising up and spinning faster. And this is the acceleration effect that we are experiencing. And I am showing also that we are having brain activation and cell activation, that this connects to both a higher level of purification, higher conscious upgrades, and connection to higher codes, including more DNA relinking, reconnection, and more synapses renewal or rebuilding of new synapses. So that's the firing of synapses and the connection of neural pathways in the brain. So we're getting an up-leveling and upgrading in that regard now, I believe, with what is coming through. They are carrying codes for that. And these are likely to bring in a sense of coming to a new level of knowing and of sensory experience, and of knowing that we are watching the remnants of the dark, these intrusions leaving the planetary surface, and a feeling that all is well. So there is that. It's like no matter what is going on around us now, it is that we are in this sense of knowing that we have reached a particular level or platform whereby we can't be touched anymore. Because we're above it, we've got our focus on what is good and high and fantastic. And so we're watching, it's like wearing gumboots in a muddy puddle. We can have our gumboots on and our feet in the puddle, and we can see what's going on and move around in it, and we're not affected. It's that kind of thing. It's this feeling that the light has won as it has, a feeling of this in the body, and that all is well, and that we are feeling safe and safeguarded, and feeling these new levels of peace being felt, that things on all levels are showing up in this tangible, sensory, physical manner. And that's funny. I'm sure there was more than that. Hold on a moment. Maybe I've missed something. No. Okay, so other things are linked to what is happening with the sun. So we know that there's more higher flares coming, and we know that one of those is going to also give us this ascension experience, if you like, and that's got to be close, because I think a few days ago we had 6 M-class flares. We know that we're coming into this higher integration of balance of masculine and feminine. That's seems to be a pretty important combination of codes and of coherence for everyone, and that brings us to this new counterbalance, this new collaboration, this new using the highly refined and higher powers held by the divine masculine and the divine feminine coming together to create the new. So we know we're in that. And that it feels to me like we're going to be having this experience in an ongoing way for the next 2 weeks. And this is this deeper purification, and then this going higher, the seeing things with greater clarity, more revealing. So on lots of levels. So on the higher consciousness level, it is that we're accessing higher codes. We're coming in to integrating higher frequencies than we've had since Atlantis anyway, and some of these codes are higher than we had there, and we were not in this same physical form in Atlantis. So we've got that going on, and then we've got at the bottom level, we've got this purification of the earth, and they're getting rid of the rubble, and then we've got this purifying that out, and then we've got the seeing of truth, And so that's coming in, and then we've got these waves coming in from the sun for us going through the cycle of release and renewal, and the connection of DNA codes and the angelic codes and the wing activations, and people integrating their multidimensional aspects through the higher dimensional codes and back through time and space. So that integration and embodiment is also a thing that's taking a lot of time and energy. And yeah, just this, refinement, so we can come into this higher integrated feminine, masculine balance so that we can bring in the new in a co-creative way, without codependency, and in a way that holds a lot of beauty, a lot of love, a lot of higher consciousness, and a lot of this is for the highest good of all concerned. Yes, in a paper bag. Yes, that's a great idea. Thank you. Um, and yeah, things are changing at a more rapid pace. Thank you, Alison. Oh, you're on holidays in the Netherlands. Oh, and I hope you're having nice weather there. I believe there was a storm coming through part of Europe. Um, and champion for the cause, feeling like that, no attacks or suppression, it's divine. Yeah, so I think we bask in that. We bask in the knowing that we've done this process. We are holding space for the light. As the last of it's working its way out, we are integrating more of ourselves so we can access more of our divinity and our higher abilities. So then we can have more of an impact on the change, and we are holding space for these beautiful partnerships to come into alignment. And I have to say that it's been something that's been coming to me is that I feel that the divine masculine, that as they come into this higher consciousness, is when they can see these more clearly. And so that's what they are doing now. So there's certainly more movement, but that's been my realization. And then the other the other thing that I was thinking is that I'm having this sense that there's a bit of a date stamp on it, that there's a bit of a divinely orchestrated appointment times. So I will leave you to enjoy the evening and send lots of love to you, and do send lots of love out across the planet to the people who are struggling at the moment, and people who are having their first heart openings, and people who are being challenged by their physical worlds falling apart. That certainly is an experience that pertains to this raising of consciousness, isn't it? That as we leave, well, as we are exploring higher dimensional consciousness, our 3D world takes on new shapes and new forms, and some of it doesn't fit anymore, and that can be a challenging time to navigate. So we'll be in compassion with those who are doing that. All right. Much love to you. Have a magnificent week. Oh, all right. Bye.